Come on, Liverpool in another cup final. It's well easy,
Love
this. You just
Love
turn up and you win. It's brilliant. Kev, how you doing, mate?
I'm fucking ecstatic, mate. How are you? You all good?
Oh, I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. It was
Yeah.
very enjoyable. I like being these enjoyable games when we win. They're even
Yeah.
better, aren't they? But yeah, look, this season could be anything. We're in our second domestic cup final. We've still got the potential of getting into a European final. It's just getting better and better, isn't it?
Yeah.
City's hopes for a treble have already gone, so that they're going down to a double now. So is that Pep's third semi-final loss in a row? So Jurgen Klopp, he is the king of semi-finals. He says that himself. He doesn't lose many semi-finals, to be fair to him. But it's a great win. It's where we want to be. We want to be in the cup final. But on the whole of it, really, really good performance. Some real standouts, which we'll get into in a bit as well. So, how are you feeling, buddy? Anyway,
I'm over the moon, to be honest. I wasn't as nervous until about 15 minutes before kickoff. I was quite relaxed about today. I was really relaxed about it. It will be what it will be. These sides are so closely matched. I just thought anything can happen in this game. And with about 10, 15 minutes before kickoff, then I started getting like, my arse was going like that a little bit. I started getting a bit twitchy, but I looked at the lineup. Every time I got twitchy, I looked back at our lineup and I thought, is that as good as we can go? Is that as good as it can get? Johnny 1964 is my birthday. Happy birthday, mate. Thank you for living. Do you know what? That's the best feeling in the world, isn't it? When it's like a Saturday, it's a big game, you win, and then you can go out on the beer. What a day, mate. What a day. Happy birthday to you, Johnny, lad.
Yeah, about 3 pints in now, so God knows what production's going to get done here, to be honest. So good luck,
Slim and none, mate. Slim and none. But I said about the lineups. What was your initial thoughts about our lineup and theirs?
Yeah, I mean, you and me, we constantly WhatsApp each other. I gave my opinion of what I thought the side would be, and it was only one different to what I thought. I thought Henderson would start, and he literally was only because I thought, well, Katie did a full 90, so maybe he won't be asked to do that. But it's all I was happy. I couldn't really see any of it. That was the front three I really wanted to see against City, because I've always felt with City, we play just so often. It's hard to surprise City. It's hard for them to surprise us now. We play each other so often. But I was thinking, they've never played Diaz as a Liverpool player. So already that's a win. And they've never played Sadio Mane as a number 9. He's always been the left wing. And I just felt there are two problems they haven't got. And then we'll come to their side. There's no Kyle Walker, which means Cancelo, who's probably their best defender, had to be flipped over, which freed Salah up.
Yeah.
And then they had, if we're being honest, Aki's fourth choice centre back, and then Stones is probably second or third. I think on form, I think he is second choice. To be fair, I think he's having a better season than Laporte.
Yeah.
So I was really happy. I thought we're playing for hit them early with pace and power, and then I did wonder with the way City has set up is we were asking Naby to push a lot higher up the pitch and let Fabinho and Thiago play more as a 2. Just let Naby push on, because Naby, that he has his critics but for me, when Naby's really pushing on to press play, that's where he's at his best. And that's where he does his best work. And first half, that's what he did. He was excellent. It was really well. I mean, there weren't many that weren't. There was nobody actually who had a poor game today. I thought everyone was really, really good. And to be fair to City, especially second half, this is why I was saying to you, and we'll come to the game, why I wanted a 3-0 lead at half time. Because there's not a cat and nails chance at some point City aren't going to just be City and have their chances, because they're good. They're so good.
Yeah.
And these sides are so even matched. They always make each other work for it. So, which is why going 3-0, you always feel a bit like, oh, what the hell? So,
yeah, I mean,
what did you think of their side?
I was looking at it. It was the midfield that I've been wanting to see for a long time, in a big pitch, in an important game. To see Fabinho, Thiago, and Naby Keita, I've been wanting to see that for a good while, and I was delighted with that. When I looked at theirs, I thought they must have ran themselves into the ground midweek to go the way they did. But to be honest, I couldn't give a fuck. I looked at our lineup and I thought, no matter what they do, we can definitely outmatch anything that they have, and we did. I thought. I mean, the score for me, look, we'll get on to it at the end, but for me, the scoreline didn't reflect the game at all.
Flatters them a little bit.
Yeah, I was really impressed with today. Absolutely, totally impressed with our performance. That's the best we've been slow out the blocks in games for weeks, and we've been banging on about fast starts and get into sides early and force mistakes, and we did everything that I've wanted us to be doing for a long time, and I was delighted to see it. I was over the moon to see how we reacted to, let's face it, a draw against Benfica and a draw against City. We needed to get back on the bike and pick up a win, and what better way to do it, you know? Yeah. I was delighted with it.
I felt there was an opportunity with their midfield. Listen, if you take Kevin De Bruyne out of any team, you're naturally weaker. He's brilliant. I understood why he had to rest some players because the Atleti game. We've played Atleti. They're a ball leg to play. They may be the Atleti of old, but they're a ball leg to play. They do make you work for it. Interesting though, for all the depth people talk about with City, they're still starting. Fernandinho was 37.
Yeah,
37. Fernandinho played a full 90 in FA Cup semi. He's brilliant, and he has been brilliant. He's 37.
Yeah,
and I think today you saw at times his 37-year-old legs caught up with him. And interestingly, we get accused of being a bit soft when we play Milner. It's all clubs have these type of players.
Yeah,
I felt the midfield gave us the opportunity to double up on them. Where the risk I thought with their lineup was on the break, that pace they had on the break looked fearful.
Yeah,
which is probably another reason why Konate started over Matip, because Konate is rapid and he was brilliant today.
He was outstanding, wasn't he?
And he plays he's the only player to play every game in the FA Cup for Liverpool this year. So let's talk about the first goal then.
Our first goal, that's 3-3 for the big man. And he's so dominant and powerful. When he gets a run on you, you've no chance in hell of stopping him. If the ball is right, he's just so big and powerful that he's an absolute machine. He's a monster. And as Emma points out, VVD reminding us that the FA Cup's the only trophy this group hasn't won. Something tells me they really want this one. And you could tell that, Emma, by the lineup, mate, today. Owen Woods, Klopp exploited their weaknesses brilliantly. You'll never walk alone. He absolutely did, especially from set pieces in the air. When you've got players like Virgil, Konate, and Fabinho going into the box, that's three players, 6'4", 6'4", 6'2", that if the ball is and the delivery is almost always going to be on point, that is going to be a threat to anyone. It's no wonder we're the leading goal scorers from set pieces this season.
I knew Laura would get me. I knew it was a good guess. I knew he was late 30s. Okay, he's 36. But 36. He looked like it was catching up with him, which is probably why he's saying he's leaving City. Because I think it's catching up with him, which, look, it happens to every player. He's a brilliant player.
He's had a hell of a career, hasn't he?
Oh, he's dirty as anything. And he's one of those players, you would love him in your side.
Yeah,
you
would.
Absolutely
you
fabulous.
Absolutely would.
You just hate him when you're playing against him because he's the master of doing 15 fouls and not getting booked, which will come.
But at 1-0 up, we didn't stop. We kept the press. Our press was brilliant today in the first half. We forced City to play into areas that they didn't want to play, and we knew that Stefan was the weakness with his distribution. That if you force him into angles that he doesn't want to play in, he's a good keeper. He's a young keeper, but he's no Ederson with his distribution from the back. With Ederson, you can't do that. You can't press the way we press.
No, I mean, look, we thought Jota got close, but even when you look back, thinking he's going, it's actually not that close.
No, it wasn't.
He's in more control. It's just scary how good he is with his feet. He's in more control than you think. Unfortunately for Stefan, that's 2 back-to-back FA Cup semi-finals where he's letting the crucial goal, and it's been a basic goalkeeping error. And listen, Alisson at 2-0 tried his bloody best to give City a chance back, which I could have done without. To be fair, but listen, that was the benefit of having a Sadio Mane at number 9.
Yeah,
it's just the way that's the way he plays. He will just hassle and not get anything up.
But I think they trapped him. I honestly think when you watch it back, because I watched it again at halftime.
Salah and Diaz are so wide.
Yeah,
which way City want to be. He's got an option, pump it long, and City don't pump it long. It's not
exactly.
It's not their game.
They forced him. It was almost a case of Sadio was waiting, and then when he was left with only one option, an option that he didn't want to take, Sadio just went, and he was so fast. I was worried that how many times you see those type of goals are rare at the best of times, but when you see them, they're generally given as a foul on the keeper. And my first instinct, I saw Oliver running towards the box with his arm out. I thought, he's fucking giving a foul, isn't he?
Yeah.
But
interesting point from MSV Boss. Blessings, glad for the win, but Klopp a little late with his subs, waiting for Pep to make the first move, and we were in control. And Hendo should have taken the player out by going in hard instead of nicking the ball in that style. It's an interesting point. I think he was leaving it late because we had the lead, and like I said, I'll see what Pep does, because for us 3-0 suited us, so we didn't need to force it. I felt Henson came in at the right time. I just felt Naby was getting a bit tired, but I'm not surprised because he's just done 19, and then he's doing it in that heat against City, which, Christ almighty, that's hard. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
The nicking the ball thing, that's kind of how Liverpool play. Not just Henson. Thiago's very good at that.
Yeah, Naby's good at it as well.
Naby's good at it. Fabinho's probably the only one who will put in a proper old school style tackle, but even then, he doesn't do it. It's the way the game is, that the game's more about nicking it. Because I think if you put in big tackles, you tend to get pulled for it, unless you're Fabinho.
There was a couple of things that I wanted to ask you, actually, because at 2-0, there was a couple of contentious decisions in the first half. Fernandinho got away with his usual customary half a dozen fouls before he picks up a yellow.
The one on Diaz it's a yellow all day. He's nowhere near the ball. But it's one of those when you take the yellow. It's just the fact he didn't get it, which really annoys us.
The one that annoyed me most was Fabinho on Jesus, because
he does.
Jesus sticks a leg out. Yeah, Jesus sticks out. Jesus sticks out a leg and initiates the contact. Michael Oliver, I think, had a poor game today, and I think he's a really good referee, but I think he let way too much go.
Yeah, it's almost like it's that thing, and I've heard
it's a semi-final. It's an
the head of PGML. What's his name? The head of PGML. I always forget his name.
Mike Riley.
Yeah, he was a shit referee anyway.
Yeah,
it's the occasion. You don't want to spoil the occasion. No, referee the game.
Yeah.
If someone is a dickhead and gets themselves down in 20 minutes, it's tough. That's the game. I get why you want to let it flow and emotions are high, but yeah, the Fabinho one was ridiculous.
Because that was just a guess, because he got it completely wrong. Fabinho never touched it. And you could see Jesus' leg coming out. If anything, the linesman who was on that side should have been the one to see that.
Should have been able to see
it. The downside is Fabinho is then on a yellow card for 70 minutes of that game.
On the flip side, that's two massive semi-finals now for Fabinho. Barcelona second leg, and this one where he's got an early yellow for doing a good tackle.
Oh, yeah. I trust him.
And he's absolutely flawless.
I thought
it's so easy to get the second yellow. And look, I've said this many times on the channel, when Fabinho plays well and plays to his level, Liverpool are untouchable in these big games. That's always been my criticism, is he's probably been a little bit below his level. Chelsea away in the two City games. Now listen, look, players have peaks and troughs. It's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's how good Fabinho is. When he's there, he makes everything look better. I mean, we haven't even talked about Thiago, the master of the dark arts, the little snidey fouls, the little flicks that he gets away from, and the pass and the touches were unreal. This is why Liverpool signed him. This is the sort of game. This is for people who haven't seen it before. This is what he is, and he was brilliant. He was brilliant again. I've seen a lot of Hendo bashing in a nice possible way. We've got to an FA Cup final. If you're bashing players and when you get to FA Cup final, well, put it in the bin. Yeah. I don't think anybody was awful today. And also, you've also got to say it sometimes, though, City are brilliant. They are a really good side, so they are going to make you look silly sometimes.
They are going to get chances.
And vice versa. But we made them look amateurish at times first half. But let's talk about the goal of the game. That third goal.
Arguably for me, our goal of the season so far. I think that is up there with the individual goals that Salah and Thiago, the daisy cutter that Thiago scored, the individual dribble goals that Mo Salah scored. For me, this had everything. This was levels of a goal. This is one of those goals that you watch on rewind just to watch the close control, the vision, everything about it, the technique in the volley. But Thiago's pass to Sadio to see it. Trent's ball out to Diaz as well.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a ball, and the control to take it. But for me, what made that goal what it was on Sadio's weak foot. It was Thiago's ball. The vision that Thiago had to see him was, and the ability to find him. Next levels. That's next level skullduggery. That's just fucking filthy, dirty stuff.
Oh, it's just like, to be honest, the biggest comment you give to it is that's the sort of interplay City do. And City do that very, very well. We just made City look pretty amateurish, which takes a. I mean, when it fell to Sadio, it was just when Sadio's not in form, that's where he scuffs it wide. But when he's in form, it was just as soon as he connected with that in, he just knew it as soon as he hit it. And
perfect timing as well, right on the halftime whistle. Yeah,
I was absolutely. I was convinced. Once it was 3-0, I was like, "Listen, we ain't throwing a 3-0 lead. We can't throw a 3-0 lead, no matter how good City are. We'll start picking them off on the break or something." I was absolutely ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Yeah. Laura saying this is why Thiago left Bayern. His former teammate said, "With him at Liverpool, they'll win everything." Bloody hope so.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
They're not wrong. I mean, we're still in with a shout of everything. But I mean, you go in at halftime, you're 3-0 up, and all's rosy in the garden. Like everything. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't. I put in the Discord group this morning, chuck in your score predictions, and naturally, everyone in there, we all put in our score predictions. The vast majority were 1-0, 2-0, 2-1.
I had
3-1.
I had 3-1. But my caveat was it's 3-1 if De Bruyne is not playing. If De Bruyne starts, I fancied us 2-1 after extra time.
Yeah,
that's how good I think De Bruyne is. I think that's the biggest influence I think he has on the side.
But I mean, I like to think that everyone in the group, and I do believe it, everyone in the group and everyone in the chat, we all know ball, and apart from one absolute nut job in there, no one would have predicted a 3-0 halftime. No one in their right mind.
No,
and. It was. I mean, TC there. That's a hell of a comment, and I agree with it. Actually, besides the last 5 minutes, the most relaxed I've been versus City. The lads were brilliant today. Yeah, even when you think back to that Champions League game,
this how relaxed was. You and me were planning our show 20 minutes before. 20 minutes before. What should we talk about? Because I've never done that at the City game. Yeah, we're too pepped up to go that. Eric, guys, how good was Naby lad today? He was brilliant today. It's taken in time, but I think it's right. I've said to you for a while now, I think Liverpool's midfield three is the three that started today and Henderson. I think they're your four main guys. Yeah. Two of them always playing out until the end of the season. And then your Joneses, your Milners, your Elliots, they're rotated in for comfort, as in like when it was 3-1 up, and it felt like you give Jones 10 minutes of a semi-final, so good experience for him. He'll learn from it. It was great, things like that, safety out of his legs. I think that's where we're at now. Whereas before, we probably felt it was a 3. It's definitely 3 from 4 now, which is a lovely situation to be in.
It is, yeah. And look, I mean, the games are going to come thick and fast. So it was important. I think some of the comments earlier on were talking about Klopp substitutions and waiting for Pep to blink. I mean, City came out at the start of the second half and got that goal. And it was out of nothing. But
really annoying, though, wasn't it?
It was an annoying. In fairness, both their goals today were annoying because they didn't have to work really hard for them.
If we talk it through, Van Dijk should probably cut the pass out to Jesus before he gets to him. Yeah. Fabinho, he's in the box. He can't touch him. He's on a yellow, so he does the best he can to shield it. The only big criticism I had was Grealish had so much time. I don't know who picked him up. Now, listen, I need to watch it back because it could be that Grealish was marked and it's clever movement to make himself free, which, City players do. So you're like, could have done without that. But as you said to me, this is also at 3-1. why you pay a world record fee for Alisson Becker. He made two saves, but he made a massive save with about 10 to go. I think it's Sterling clean through.
Yeah,
and when you watch the replay back, Van Dijk's far too slow getting out. It's a great save, and that is what you sign out. He literally had two proper saves to make all game, and that's what he does. That's the difference. That's what Ederson gives City. To be fair,
it does.
That's what you want from Alisson. He was brilliant, and every corner, catching it, really composed. It's just what you want. Lovely, absolutely lovely performance by him.
I was 1-11 today. I was so impressed. I mean, I don't think you wouldn't say that anyone let the side down. Everyone had their moments in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone played. Mo didn't get his goal, but my God, he was a threat, a constant threat.
They had to double up. They had to double up on him.
Yeah,
and because they double up on him, as we saw in the final against Chelsea, it just gives Diaz that little bit more. Well, we haven't talked about Diaz yet. Yeah. How scarily good is he? He's ridiculous, and he made Cancelo look on his toes. And Cancelo's fabulous fullback.
For me, Cancelo's in the team of the season at left back this season,
and Diaz gave him nightmares.
Yeah,
Diaz. That's what it says.
Yeah,
Eric asking what am I drinking? It's some sort of Aldi beer. I didn't actually look. I think it's a German Aldi beer. I actually don't know what it's called. It's very nice though.
Yeah, I mean, Diaz. What impresses me the most with Diaz, we know he has pace. It's his ability to control the ball in pressure situations and his decision making.
I love how careful he is with the ball.
Yeah,
I very rarely see. And listen, Mo does it. Jota definitely does it, and Manny do it. Give it away cheaply, try to do something clever, doing a flick. And look, that's the game. We said only Bobby really is careful with the ball. But I've got to be honest, I've yet to see Diaz give a sloppy ball away. He very rarely does it, and his work rate defensively is just what you want. And the lad still learning the language and probably doesn't even know all the ins and outs tactically.
Exactly. I mean, he's going to imagine how good he's going to be in 2 years' time.
Oh, imagine how good he's going to be next season.
Next season, yeah, he's going to be insane. And I mean, the subs, I still had it in the back of my mind that Klopp at 3-1 had an inkling that, look, you never know with City, this could go into extra time. You just don't know. So he gave himself every opportunity to leave it as late as possible, knowing that our next game is Tuesday night, I think.
Tuesday night. Plus, we didn't have to force it. So,
yeah,
it was good. Arsenal for Life's in the house. Hello, my friend. Good to see you again. We haven't seen him in this chat for a little while. Nice to see him. So, let's quickly talk about the City 3-2, and then we'll talk about big players, because there's so many good players. I think we need to spend a good 10 minutes talking about who was really good. Their goal, okay, careful I say, because it sounds like you're being a bit disingenuous. There is an element of fortune to it. Mahrez does what Mahrez does. He rips past Robbo. Yeah. Robbo is on toast.
I'll ask you something there in a minute.
Mahrez does to a lot of players. He tries to fire it across. Alisson makes it big. On another day, it bounces between his legs and stops. It bounced between his legs and went through. And look, the player's there for a tapping. But I text you at the time saying, it's really annoying, but it was about 20 minutes too late. I thought there's 3 minutes to go, and Liverpool went into complete kill mode. And I think that was the benefit of the previous 20 minutes. Because you and me both said Liverpool tried to kill the game for 20 minutes and really just did it. And ironically, should have nicked it on the break.
What I couldn't wrap my head around is why Pep left it so late. Because if you make changes, if you make your changes at 70 minutes, fresh legs, and you nick one, it goes off someone's arse. It doesn't matter how it goes in. At 3-2 with 20 minutes to go, it's on, and he went into Iron Man football mode and just like...
I'm amazed. So, and we saw, I said this at the time when they drew with Palace. Why don't you throw Gundogan on? He's not a goal threat as people think he is, but he just gives you something different in midfield. He'd have freed up Bernardo Silva, who, quite frankly, was so deep. It was brilliant because when he's that far deep, he can't influence the game, which I'm more than happy with. Kevin De Bruyne for me is clearly not fit because you're not telling me he hasn't. If he was fit, he'd have been on at some point.
Yeah,
I thought he'd be on at half time. So
anyway, enough about them. bollocks.
There's a bit of kid. There's definitely
sorry for my language.
There's a bit of kidology there. I think that he was him being on the bench. Obviously, must be some kidology there going there. So we'll see. But let's talk about. Look, we're in FA Cup semi-final. Can't wait. We'll find out tomorrow whether it's Palace or Chelsea. We'll talk about who we prefer in a bit. But let's just talk about some key players who are brilliant. And I'll go with the man who I think has been slagged off, ripped, and played down far too much for Liverpool. Sadio Mane. Absolutely brilliant. That is a number 9 performance to be proud of. People talk about Harry Kane and all that sort of stuff. That's the dropping deep. That's the linking play. That's the goal threat. That's the snide. He was fabulous today. And he made sure he got Fernandinho back for a horror tackle. So he made sure he got him back. I thought for me, he was man of the match because I just felt every time he got the ball, something happened. He just had one of those games with him. And that's saying a lot because I thought Thiago, Fabinho were all fabulous.
Yeah, when Sadio's on it, he's one of those players in world football that he's capable of anything because he's strong on either foot. He can go either side, and he's almost impossible to read. He's a form player. When he's on form, he's out there with anyone in world football for me. And today, this period at the moment, since Senegal have got to the World Cup. He's come back and he has been outstanding.
He's been the flipper Mo, hasn't he? This is the sliding doors moment. For him. It's the sliding doors moment. If Mo would have the 2 big wins and said, you probably would have seen the other way around. People really don't realize how missing out for your country, how big a thing it is. But for Manny, he just looks revitalized. I mean, I'm just praying we keep him on another contract. Him and Mo.
Yeah,
if we get him and Mo a new contract, I'm more than happy. Tariq, who's we do have interactions quite a bit in the in our group,
in our Discord group. Yeah,
that's the word. Yeah, I would rather have Chelsea in the final. Afraid law of averages with Palace. Who would you want? It's interesting because you could argue by law of averages, Chelsea so far have we've got 2 draws against them, and we drew the League Cup final and beat them on penalties. So I don't want to play Chelsea again because the horrible games and Chelsea just make it so hard. I think Palace will give us more scares because they're attacking wise ridiculously good, and we saw it at the Palace away game. But I do think they might give you a few more chances for Liverpool to play their game. I think the Chelsea game makes it too difficult. But
look, I want to play Palace, of course I do. At the end of the day, and I like Palace. I like what Vieira has done with Palace.
The biggest compliment you can give Palace is if Palace are on telly, you want to watch them. Yeah. You don't really give a shit who they're playing. You go, Palace, I'll watch them because there's so much excitement around them. So many Gallagher's and Eze's and people like that. He's like, I want to watch them. Whereas before Palace on telly, you'd be like, I couldn't be arsed watching that. I'm not watching that. Whereas they're a really good side to watch. They're a very dangerous side to watch as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I was going to say Gallagher's a big miss tomorrow. He's going to be cup-tied. He won't be allowed to play against his parent club.
Mitchell too.
They're missing a lot of players, but they have a goal threat, and they have. I think they're facing a Chelsea side who are very hot and cold. They're very hit and miss, and going out of Europe, it's we don't know how they're going to react to that.
Yeah. Just before you continue, Kev, guys in the chat, let us know who you think who was your man of the match. Let us know, and then Kev's going to talk to us about Palace.
Well, I think Palace. I think Chelsea goes through. Look, it would be a major shock if
Palace have to take the lead. I think to have a chance.
But I think if Palace get the lead, they're capable of hurting Chelsea on the break, even without the likes of Gallagher. They played without him the season before. But look, it'll be what it'll be. I mean, we'll watch it. And the only downside for me, I think Chelsea have wrapped up third.
Nobody wants fourth.
Nobody wants fourth.
Listen, we'll talk about that next Friday because that's a whole show in itself.
Yeah, 100%. But look, I just think that with Chelsea having nothing else to play for this season, they will come into a cup final fully rested and fully revitalized to win that one. Whereas we're going to be still going gung ho for everything by that time. It all depends on what kind of physical state the squad is going to be in by then. There's an awful lot of football to go between
So
time.
a few man of the match shouts. Carl Mack's got Mane with Thiago and Diaz close. Stephen Dodd, good to see you in the chat. Thiago all day. Ruben has got Mane. I've got a Naby shout. Ed Steve says, I hope it goes to pens and they bring Kepa on. The only thing I think that does give Palace a chance is we saw today how much that Atletico game took out of City. I wonder how much that Madrid game took out of Chelsea, and they did extra time and they didn't get through. So they had the heartache of the physical heartache of going that long, and then the mental heartache of we didn't even get through after all that effort. And listen, give Chelsea their credit; they did half give Real Madrid a scare. So credit where credit's due. So you do wonder, it's tied legs, how much will they rotate? I've got a feeling Kepa might start because he's generally been their cup goalkeeper, which
wouldn't surprise me. My man of the match for us today, I thought Thiago. I would give it to Thiago. I think Sadio was exceptional, but I looked at halftime. Just give a quick look at the stats, and I think Thiago's pass success rate was 97%.
And it wasn't like they were sideways, backward passes either.
No, 97% for someone playing in that position. You expect that kind of pass accuracy from a centre back because
shout for Konate.
Good shout. Actually,
it's a good shout.
Yeah, Ibu was really good.
Ibu seems to have the same talent that Matip has, which is drop him in. Doesn't matter what game he is, and he just settles him fine.
Yeah,
his Premier League debut, which dropped him away at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
which
he oozes confidence.
That pace he's got is scary. That's what gives him the. He's almost a bit of Matip and Gomez combined.
Yeah,
he's got the pace of a Gomez.
He's 22,
but he's 22. But he adds that physicality. He's brilliant in the air. As we've seen.
And he doesn't care about players' reputations. He doesn't care who you are. He's like, he has a job to do and he'll do it. And he's only going to get better. The more he's around the squad, the more he's around better players.
Yeah,
he's just going to
on the quiet. On the quiet, he's probably one of the signings one of the best signings we've made. Or signing of the seat. He's definitely the conversation for summer signings. What did you think? He's like, what more can you ask for? And we still haven't lost a game when he started.
Well, for me, you look at, Keith Plunkett has been raving about him for a long time. So was I before when the talk was about
Upamecano. Oh,
and look, I watched Upamecano for Bayern, and he was hung out to dry in that game. By Nagelsmann. But
I generally think he's scared. He looked for. I've always said it, and I said it at the time with Keith. He said I was being harsh. I said when he has the ball at his feet, it's like he's kicking a hand grenade. He looks petrified of what he's going to do.
Yeah,
and Konate just oozes confidence and oozes a bit of class.
Yeah, he's a bit. What I don't get, and I think it'll come for him. He hasn't nailed down a place in his France squad. And I think he's.
I think that says more about how good France is.
No, I think he's better than some of the centre backs that are getting in there now. And he's if he kicks on and starts the season like he's finishing this one,
Konate's a cold spring, which is a very, very good way of describing him.
Yeah.
Because the best thing you can say about Konate is when he starts, everyone just goes, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, but don't worry now.
Whereas before now, if you used to say, "Oh, Matip's not playing," or "Gomez isn't playing," for the greatest respect, we're playing Nat Phillips, we're playing Reece Phillips, you're like, "Oh, Jesus, God, this is going to be a tough game." Whereas now you just go, "Oh, Konate's playing. Cool."
Yeah, but that's all over the squad, isn't it?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of players. It's probably only right back where when Trent's missing, you go, that's a bit difficult. But to give him his credit, Gomez actually has done really well at right back this season for us. So give him.
Well, Ross B makes a comment there. Ali gives me a heart attack with some of his passes lately. Agreed. Virgil's also looks a tough off it. I feel Ibu is a beast for sure.
I thought positionally Virgil was a bit sloppy at times. But again with him and Alisson, just the thing we've said is it just too? Sometimes the game get too easy, and we go. And that's where we get a bit sloppy. And I think that's the thing you build into it, because City have a lot of games like where in their head it's become routine, but they're very ruthless with it. And maybe we're still getting used to that.
Well, what's for dinner is asking a great question there. Chinese or Indian tonight? Chris, what's on the
I'm actually having a barbecue. It's actually sunny.
All right.
It's sunny in Runcorn, so we're having a barbecue.
Is it?
Yeah, it's sunny in Runcorn, so we're having a barbecue. If I had a choice between the two of them, I'd go for an Indian every time, though. If I had a choice. If we go for a takeaway,
I think I got pizza coming home tonight with Mrs. She's at work now, so when she's on her way home tonight, she'll pick up something on the way home.
Yeah, but for my takeaway of choice will be an Indian. How much I like Chinese food, as you can tell.
That's the one thing I miss about the UK. We look in Ireland. We do great food. There's loads of great places to eat over here and all that. We don't do proper food. We don't do proper takeaways, proper Indian food, proper Chinese food.
Get to England, man.
I miss it. I miss that. I miss being able to go out for a proper Indian and go out for a proper Chinese meal.
We'll get Gav to get us to do a tour in the Northwest, and then we can all go. We can all go for Chinese and Indians every night. No hearts, but you know,
we're smack on now for that's a League Cup in the bag. We've an FA Cup final to look forward to,
which we have a good chance in the final, because we have beaten Chelsea in the final already, and we have a good record against Palace. Won't be easy, but we've got a chance. Villarreal, while despite what people think, I'm not saying the Pete Barsner, is a tie you can get through. It's just a ball ache of a tie, but it's a tie you can get through. So the interesting one's the league. You've just got to keep City honest. That is the big one, is keeping City honest now.
Stephen Dunn there in the chat. Lads, try living in the Netherlands. Irish Indian tastes like New Delhi in comparison. Oh my God, Stephen.
Oh, no.
I feel for you, buddy. What's that?
The connoisseurs of battered sausages would disagree with you.
Look, you cannot beat a decent battered sausage and a pickled egg. They're the staple of any diet after 8. They're the staple of an 8-point diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, to be fair, you've probably got a point there. To be fair, cool. Right, so what we've got planned for the rest of the week. So obviously, Fatback 4 on.
Fatback 4 will be tomorrow night. Forum will be Monday night.
Not Forum, wins and losers.
Oh, winners and losers, but we're probably going to have to do a preview of the Manchester United games. So this is the thing now; the games are going to come really thick and fast. We're going to have a post-match on the after the United game.
Just to pre-warn you, it's probably me and you again.
Midweek fix on Wednesday. Nothing on the Thursday, and we'll have Sports Unplugged. We'll be back on Friday. One thing I want to mention today was the minutes silence at the start of the game.
Oh, was atrocious! It's atrocious, by
horrifically interrupted. Yeah, it was really poor form, and I'm glad Man City as a club have come out and condemned it. By halftime, they issued a statement, and rightly so. Whatever those fans did that day, that was horrific. There was no need for it. There was no call for it.
Do you know what I think it is? And City fans, if you don't like me, I'm sure they'll like me anyway. They're trying to be one of the big boys. This is how we get a rivalry going, like we have with Chelsea. That with United, you go, no, that's not how you get a rivalry going. You just become a bell end. And that's what you've basically shown your club to be.
Yeah, that was really, really distasteful. And after that, I just thought, win this game, just get this one and look good doing it, and we did. Absolutely delighted for it.
We've seen with interviews with Diogo Jota with what happened in the Leicester game when we beat Leicester in the League Cup.
Yeah,
don't kid yourself. Players pick up on that, and players know that. And that, to us, City fans have probably just fired Liverpool up an extra 5%. Yeah. So you've just done your team a little bit. Chris Golden asks score predictions for the United game. 2-0 Liverpool. What are you going to go, Kev?
I hadn't even thought that far ahead yet.
I'll come.
I think that if we play anything close to tonight's form, we'll beat them. We'll hit 4. We will score 4 or even match what we did at Old Trafford. Listen, if we hit the form that we played today, we will tear them to shreds.
But Ronaldo's got a hat trick against Norwich. I mean, come on, the might of Norwich.
I know. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to have a quick look at. Actually, what was the what you call it? Let's have a quick look. Because I didn't, with all the games that have been going on today, I didn't give a tuppenny about the league.
Well, the two North London clubs are trying their best to give each other the top 4. Spurs got outplayed, outforced.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Outdone by Brighton.
Yeah. Spurs
Arsenal been done at Southampton, and Southampton aren't in form.
No.
United threw a 2-goal lead either way, but eventually won 3-2. And Brentford got a 95th minute winner against Watford. So probably relegates Watford, to be honest. So
yeah, that's probably done them, to be honest.
That's probably done Watford, and that saves Brentford. Neil Jones just tweeted, "Man the match for today, according to the FA Cup people, is Sadio Mane."
Yeah, Martin Keown gave it to him in commentary, and I wouldn't argue with it. Look, there was some...
It's him or Thiago.
Yeah, there was some exceptional performances today, but I wouldn't argue with it. But look, in fairness,
there were a lot
I think we'd all let everyone go. Please smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't. Really appreciate it. It really helps the channel out a lot.
And
go and enjoy your Saturday. Yeah.
Please share about Féileacáin as well, please.
Yeah, the link in the description for the charity Féileacáin. If you can donate, please do. If you want to find out more about the charity, just take a few minutes and check out the link and read through it, and then share that around with all your mates. It'll really help. But smash the like button and go and enjoy your Saturday nights, and we'll look forward to tomorrow night, and we'll be all gunning towards Manchester United on Tuesday. Can't wait.
Cool. So until then, everyone, enjoy your Easter weekend. The Reds are boss. We're in another cup final. All these problems we have, but we're still in the cup final. It's boss, isn't it? And the quadruple, don't let anyone tell you different. The quadruple is still on.